Why is it important for a business to have a succession plan?
It's probably one of those things that is extremely important, but isn't always at the forefront of a business owner's mind. No matter what life cycle a business may be in, it's probably something that everyone should be thinking about. And the reason it's so important is it can have so many drastic impacts on the legacy of a business, the goals of the owner, whatever the case may be. It's an important part of the process. And so I think that it's one of those things that just doesn't get talked about a lot, and it's important for people to consider.
Now, I'm not trying to have doom and gloom here, but if a business does not have a succession plan, what pitfalls they may see?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. A lot of times when there's been a lack of planning, if there's a health event for a business owner or a life event or some other unforeseen circumstance, coronavirus, let's just, for example, that's most recent for a lot of folks, it can destroy a business. If there's no plan, if there's nothing in place, it may wipe out everything that a business owner has spent a lifetime creating. And so I think that's why it's so important. Business owners have, in most cases, dedicated their life to creating a business. And there's not just themselves, they have employees whose lives depend on that paycheck from that business, and vendors and customers and all of the parties. And you would hate to see all that be wiped out just because it was one of those things that wasn't planned for and an unforeseen circumstance arose, and it just destroyed the business. So,
or people say, I'll get to it later. I'm far too busy right now because they're into the work. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. We hear that a lot. I mean, banks, especially at Emprise, one of the things we try to talk to our customers frequently about is the importance of this topic, and it's not always received with, well, someday we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We got this big project we're working on right now, and it gets pushed to the back burner. But I can't emphasize enough how important it is, and how really starting the process much sooner than you think is necessary is really the key to success.
Excellent. And I like I said, I didn't want doom and gloom, but I wanted to jolt people just to think about it,
Yeah.
And you rolled into it a little bit, but how far in advance should somebody start a succession plan?
This is one of the more challenging topics to discuss, just because I've never seen two business sale acquisition transactions that are exactly alike. But as I alluded to, the sooner the better. And so there's probably not a perfect time, but if I had to throw a number out there, I'd say if you're not thinking about it 5 years before you really think that event could happen, whether that's retirement or transition to the next generation of ownership or whatever the case may be, it takes a lot of time to put this plan into place, and it will continue to ebb and flow. And I think the more time you give yourself, the better chance of success of having a smooth transition will occur. So you can't ever start too early. When you first start up your business is probably not the right time, but somewhere in between startup and
Nice.
is.
So don't do it the day you put your shingle up on the.
But it's interesting. We joke about that. I mean, I have some experience in private equity, and a lot of times, one of the first things they think about before they acquire a business is what's the exit strategy. Mm-hmm. And so, it's not inappropriate to be thinking about this even before. What's your plan? If I grow this, how do you capture the value that you created? Start thinking about some of those things. You don't have to have a plan in place, but it's really never too early to start thinking about this process.